Hi guys, welcome again. Today we are going to recap the movie Emergency Declaration. Let's start the video. The film opens in the bustling streets of Seoul, South Korea. The camera follows a seemingly ordinary man, Ryu Jin-seok, as he walks into a police station. His appearance is unremarkable, his clothes plain, his expression neutral. But what he says sends chills down the spines of the officers. "I'm going to release a deadly virus on an airplane. You can try to stop me, but it's already too late." The police officers are stunned, unsure whether to take him seriously. Jin Seok's calmness is unnerving, and the subtle menace in his tone suggests he isn't bluffing. Detective Gu In-ho, a seasoned investigator, listens closely. Something about Jin Seok feels off, dangerous. Before they can act, Jin Seok leaves the station, disappearing into the crowded streets. Gu begins investigating. He discovers that Jin Seok was once a brilliant biochemical researcher, but was fired for unethical experiments. His work focused on creating deadly airborne viruses. The deeper Gu digs, the more alarmed he becomes. This isn't just a threat, it's a ticking time bomb. At Incheon International Airport, passengers board Flight KY501, bound for Hawaii. Among them are Park Jae-hyuk, a retired detective traveling with his young daughter Sumin, who suffers from eczema and a deep fear of flying; Kim In-ho, the experienced but cautious captain of the flight, leading his crew with precision and care; Yoon-soo, the confident and pragmatic co-pilot who serves as a grounding presence. Various families, business people, and tourists, all unaware of the nightmare that awaits them. Amidst them is Ryu Jin-seok, blending in with the other passengers. He looks ordinary, carrying a small bag and offering polite smiles. No one suspects that he is carrying a deadly vial in his pocket, a virus he plans to release mid-flight. The plane takes off smoothly, and passengers settle into their seats. Some watch movies, others read, while children laugh and play. Flight attendants begin their rounds, offering meals and drinks. The mood is calm, even cheerful. Hours into the flight, Jin-seok stands up, excusing himself to the restroom. Once inside, he locks the door and retrieves a small vial from his bag. He stares at it for a moment, his face devoid of emotion. Then, with a chilling resolve, he opens it, releasing the virus into the plane's air circulation system. The pathogen, invisible and odorless, begins spreading through the confined space. Jin-seok calmly returns to his seat, watching the other passengers with an eerie detachment. Initially, everything seems normal. Then a man seated near Jin-seok begins coughing. His cough worsens, becoming violent and uncontrollable. Flight attendants rush to assist him, but his condition deteriorates rapidly. Within minutes, he collapses in the aisle, vomiting blood. Panic spreads like wildfire. Passengers scream as they witness the horrifying scene. The man's skin turns pale, and blood trickles from his nose and mouth. Despite the crew's best efforts, he dies in front of everyone. The flight attendants attempt to calm the passengers, attributing the incident to a sudden medical emergency. But soon others begin showing symptoms: high fever, excessive sweating, and relentless coughing. It becomes clear that this is no ordinary illness. On the ground, Detective Gu connects the dots. Jin-seok's warning at the police station and the news of a crisis aboard Flight KY501 are linked. He informs Transport Minister Suk-hee, and an emergency task force is assembled. Gu uncovers Jin-seok's history in bioengineering and learns that the virus is a deadly, fast-acting pathogen with no known cure. Its transmission is airborne, and the confined space of the airplane makes it a perfect breeding ground. On board, paranoia takes hold. Passengers grow suspicious of one another, fearing further contagion. Some demand the air circulation system be turned off, while others argue it will suffocate everyone. Tensions boil over, and fights break out. Jin-seok remains calm, observing the chaos with a chilling sense of satisfaction. Retired Detective Jae-hyuk notices Jin-seok's odd behavior and confronts him. Jin-seok reveals his plan with unnerving composure, taunting the passengers. "There's no cure. You're all going to die up here. This is humanity's punishment." Jin-seok is subdued and restrained by the passengers, but the damage is done. His words sow despair, and the passengers feel helpless. Transport Minister Suk-hee pleads with nearby countries to allow an emergency landing, but one by one they refuse. Japan, the United States, and others close their airspace, fearing the virus will spread. The plane is left stranded, circling aimlessly above the ocean. Scientists on the ground race to find a solution. They analyze the virus and develop an experimental antidote, though its effectiveness is unproven. In a high-risk operation, the South Korean military arranges to airdrop the antidote to Flight KY-501. Fighter jets approach the plane, delivering the package mid-air. Captain In-ho and co-pilot Hyun-soo, despite showing early symptoms of infection, manage to retrieve it. The antidote is distributed among the passengers, but supplies are limited. Arguments break out over who should receive it. Jae-yuk fights to secure a dose for his daughter, Sumin, whose condition is worsening. The pilots, now severely weakened by the virus, prepare for an emergency landing in South Korea. Captain In-ho pushes through his deteriorating health, determined to save everyone on board. The landing sequence is harrowing. With limited visibility and failing equipment, the pilots guide the plane toward the runway. Passengers brace themselves, praying for survival. Despite overwhelming odds, the plane touches down safely. Medical teams, clad in full protective gear, swarm the aircraft. Survivors are rushed into quarantine facilities, while the dead are carefully removed. Jae-hyuk watches over Sumin as she receives the antidote. To his relief, she begins to recover. Captain In-ho and co-pilot Hyun-soo are hailed as heroes, but remain in critical condition. Not everyone survives. The virus claims many lives, leaving survivors to grapple with their trauma. On the ground, Jin Seok's actions ignite global outrage and a renewed focus on biosecurity. The film ends on a somber yet hopeful note. Humanity has faced a harrowing test, and while the scars remain, the survivors vow to honor those who didn't make it. Let's meet in the next video. What do you feel about the movie? Let us know in the comments.